Good evening, basketball fans, wherever you may be. Welcome again to NBA basketball. Around the... wait, I guess this isn't basketball. Hey, it's Patricia. How's it going? Claudia Neubauer, Wally Gator. Yeah, I see everybody else. You know what's crazy is I've actually gone down 4 subs today. You'd think after putting on 2 pretty good shows I'd gain 5. I don't know, man. I get really discouraged at YouTube at this point. You know, you see these newbies coming out, staring at the screen talking, and they get 8,000 subs in a week. It's like, man, what in the hell's going on here? Oh well. It is what it is, man. Maybe it's good to have sort of a certain number of just people that like the channel that you know, aren't snowflakes. Yeah, well, it should have showed up again, right? Yeah, it's bizarre though. I mean, down 4? It's like, what happened? I thought those were pretty good shows. Thanks, Kit Kat. I don't know. Sometimes I don't feel like it. I really, I don't know. It's kind of makes me feel down sometimes. You know, it's like, I know most of the time I'm not like that, but I just, man, I put in a lot of work. Yeah, but maybe that's what I should just focus in on. Quality, not quantity, right? There you go.
You are the best.
Well, thank you. You know, it was weird. After that, was it the last show? No, the first show of the day, I think. Yeah, the first show of the day, we were talking about the murder in Spokane. Oh, there we go. We're going to have the Kit Kat and Billy Boy Blue battle.
Wait a minute, Gray. Don't be talking to my girl Kit Kat.
Hey, Kit Kat, how's it going? Yeah, we were talking about Marcy Velez earlier, and then there was these related cases. But man, it just went like, I tried to make something that was somewhat had a flow to it, and it just got really, man, it was all over the place. It's crazy. I mean, there's like a transgender serial killer there. I found a 1998 article, you know, talking about these unsolved cases, and then I find out that 4 of them on that list were all solved by a whole bunch of them were solved, but 4 of them were all from a serial killer. And then there was these other 3 that were, you know, it's just, here, listen everybody. Spokane must be sort of like the Lumberton of Washington. Or at least it's Spokane's not a bad place, but it's more like a serial killer haven or something. I don't know. It's crazy. Yeah. So, let me get that music playing again. Yeah, so one of the cases that showed up when we were discussing Marcy was the Debbie Finnern case. And so I looked into that one. And I don't know if this one's ever been solved either. Yeah, matter of fact, it hasn't. There was even an article in this year related to it. So let's just do this one first. Well, thanks, Kim. God, it's so kind. Hello.
If I could sub twice, I would.
That'd be a cool mug. If I could sub twice, I would. Yeah. Or a quote. Yeah, so this is the one individual that was mentioned in one of the articles with Marcy is Debbie K. Finnern. The body of a 30-year-old woman was found by railroad security officers early today in the 1800 block of East Front, police reported. Hey, there's another. Haha. Kit Kat said Billy Boy Blue is cute. Detective Lieutenant Gene McGowan, I don't know how, McGoughan. Probably just McGowan, right? I don't know. Looks like an Irish name, but I don't know what that. McGugan? Probably McGugan is probably what it is.
Billy Boy Blue is cute. Winking face, grinning face with smiling eyes.
Yeah, Bundy was up there too. But I don't know. It just seemed like maybe it was like the network. Hey, have you ever been to Spokane? It's a great place to be a serial killer. Give it a shot. You know. I mean, it's strange. So, Detective Lieutenant Gene McGugan. Let me go. I have this one mapped out on here. Hold on. Yeah, right here. Like her body was found somewhere right here. Apparently she was a prostitute, but she wasn't a prostitute prior to that. Like she had good jobs and everything, then she moved to Spokane for some unknown reason and became a prostitute. She was standing on a corner here, and then she was found right in this area. Like just and that little road thing there, that little whatever this is, has been there for a long time. I mean, you can go back to 1995 and that's still right there. Yeah, so her fully clothed body was found at 1:40 a.m. lying in the dirt roadway. See, I think that's what that is. On the north side of a grain elevator. Let's just see if that makes sense. Hold on. On the north side of a grain elevator. You know, maybe there was something around in here a long time ago. Who knows? No arrests have been made, and investigators have no suspects, McGugan said. An autopsy was scheduled for today. Finnern had been dead less than an hour before the body was discovered. Okay, that was on June 22nd, 1984. June 23rd. And now here's more information. An autopsy on the body of a 30-year-old woman found dead early Friday showed she died from 6 knife wounds in the upper torso. So that's similar, a little bit less obviously than Marcy, but that's probably why they were thinking, The body of Debbie K. Finnern of Spokane was found about 1:40 a.m. by railroad security officers in the 1800 block of East Front, police said. Detectives said police officers had seen her standing in the 1800 block of East Sprague. You just saw I had those 2 spots mapped out right there. Sergeant Robin Best said officers warned the woman not to remain in the area because it could be dangerous at night. He said police routinely issue that warning to pedestrians in that area at night. Finnern's clothed body was in a dirt roadway on the north side of a grain elevator, police said. No arrests have been made and investigators have no suspects. No weapon was found. Amman said Finnern was stabbed 4 times in the front and twice in the back. He said there was evidence the woman had sexual intercourse not long before she died. That she was a prostitute, so that's kind of like, well, who knows, right? The autopsy was the second performed Friday by a King County medical examiner. See, this is where I started going down. No. I just went off into Never Never Land. I just thought, okay, here we go. We're going to get this nice rhythm going. And then... Amen said the dismembered body of a woman found in the Spokane River near Spokane Falls Community College showed signs of being sexually molested, he said. There were... so this is another one. So he was in town for another one, and then he had to do this one too. But look at it. Amen said the dismembered body of a woman found in the Spokane River near Spokane Falls Community College showed signs of being sexually molested, he said. There was a bruise in the vaginal area and a tear on the rectum. The missing body parts have not been found. Amen said a blunt instrument apparently was used based on the way the body tissue was severed and the bones were broken. He said the cause of the woman's death has not been determined and tests will be performed on body fluids. Police said they still have no clue to her identity, and I couldn't find... And then I went down the rabbit hole of trying to figure out if they ever identified her, and I found nowhere where she was identified. But I don't know why she wasn't identified. It seems like there was like a tattoo of some sort. Let's see, where is it? The woman probably was dead 1 or 2 days before her body was... Now they're talking about the dismembered person. 1 or 2 days before her body was found by 2 fishermen. There is no evidence linking the 2 deaths. Police and the men asked whether there might be a connection between either of the killings and the string of so-called Green River murders in Seattle area. Detective Captain Robert Allen said, I have no reason to believe there is. Let's see. Agugan and Amen said the unidentified woman was white, 30 to 40, 5'7" to 130 pounds, with a 3-inch scar on her left bicep and a scar on the left knee. Agugan said she also had 2 moles on her neck, one just to the right of the center and one slightly to the left. Amen said the woman apparently had given birth at some time to at least 1 child. No other distinguishing evidence such as surgery or healing injuries was found, he said. Yeah, and then I thought I found another article that actually she had tattoos with names on them. But anyways, here is more on Finnern now. Police detectives are trying to uncover more information about murder victim Debbie K. Finnern. The 30-year-old woman was found stabbed to death Friday in the 1800 block of East Front. Detectives said identification on the body showed a false address. Release of a photograph may help investigators find out where she lived, police said. Detective Ron Graves said he believes Finnern lived somewhere in the Browns Addition. No arrest has been made. Okay, then basically it just disappeared. Her name pops up in various articles over the years as maybe being related. And then this is her, apparently, from, who knows when that picture was taken, but this is an article from literally 5 weeks ago. Isn't that amazing? Like, we've done that a few times where there's a recent article after so many years. But who murdered 33... So that means this one is unsolved to this day. Okay, this is 19... she was murdered in 84. That's 36 years ago. Who murdered 30-year-old Debbie Finnern? That's who KHQ has been investigating in preparation for our latest Q6 cold case story. As we gathered documents and interviews for the piece, we came across something bizarre. A photo of the murder woman once for sale on Amazon. Isn't that crazy? Debbie was viciously murdered in June of 1984. The autopsy report obtained by KHQ shows she was stabbed multiple times. Report state Spokane police officer saw Debbie 1 hour before she was found. Wow, that's crazy. So just an hour before she was found on that one street corner, when they say, hey, be safe out here, she's found murdered. They reportedly told her not to be alone in the area because it was not safe. In those same early morning hours, a murder investigation that would stretch decades began. My sister was a mother. She had a daughter and 2 boys, so she had 3 children. Steve Finnern said when she was here in Omaha, she worked at several different places, had good jobs. She seemed to be very good at everything, she said. Stephen Finnern says Debbie had a bright future. She was intelligent, funny, and beautiful. But he says she had a weakness when it came to men. I think she had strong need for affection, Steve said about her sister. I think that was something she didn't get much of as a child, and her upbringing, I guess. The family still isn't sure specifically why, or more likely who compelled Debbie to leave everyone and everything she knew in Omaha, Nebraska, behind 4 Spokane. All they do know is that shortly after the move, Debbie got involved in prostitution and was soon after viciously murdered. Yeah. Debbie's body was found on a dirt road a few blocks off Sprague. She had been stabbed several times. Our Haley Gunther has been researching Debbie's cold case and working with her family to try to get some eyes back on it. During that process, they found something odd. The sale of Debbie's photo. I'm pretty much a little disturbed by it, Steve said. I'm a little freaked out. Debbie's photo, one police put out to try to learn about her shortly after they identified her body, was listed for sale at one point on Amazon. The writing on it indicates it was printed by the Seattle Times at one point. Features and details boasts it's ready for you to frame. The description includes mention of other grisly murders from that same time period in Spokane. Right now it says the photo was out of stock and information on when it will be available again was not posted. And here's the, let's see. This is the original press photo. Debbie Finnern is one of 4 murder victims whose bodies were found in Spokane eastern downtown section. Unique vintage black and white, original press photo. This photo is used condition. It's not, it's pretty weird though, right? Debbie was murdered long before Spokane serial killer Robert Yates began targeting and executing Spokane prostitutes. So there you go. I mean, see, that's what's weird. And then I see his name on there, and I go, what? Robert Yates, the Spokane serial killer. All right? So here's the thing. So then I look at, but prior to that, I mean, this is what I'm telling you. I just went down these crazy, I was looking at this website. This is from 1998, okay? And they have all these people listed missing in Spokane. Okay? So check it out. All these people are missing in Spokane. So I started looking through each one by one, trying to figure them out, and some were solved and everything. And then it turns out, even after I was looking at these, when you go over to Robert Lee Yates, who was arrested in 2000, so that article on the internet was 1998. Well, check this out. Watch this. I don't know if let me see if I can narrow this. I'll go like this. So on this website on 1998 of cold cases, you start getting over here into the 90s. So let's start right here. How about even up here? Heather Hernandez. Let's see. Is that up here? Right there. Heather Hernandez, one of Yates's victims. Okay, I was going to go look through all these, right? Let's go even up here. I think there's even more. Darla Sue Scott. Right there. Darla Sue Scott. Margaret M. Anselmo. And let's see if that's on there. Okay, I don't know if I see that one at this point. gunshot wound. And then Heather Hernandez. We already saw that one, right? Right there. Teresa Lynn Marie Asmussen. Hey, thanks, Sooner History. Let's see. Boom, boom, boom. Nope, that's not on there. Sean L. Johnson. There it is, right there. Sean Johnson. Lori Ann Wasson. Right there. Or that says Lori Page. I'm sure that's the same person, though. I mean, how many people do you know have Wasson, W-A-S-O-N, and a Lori, same year, everything, dates the same? Yeah. See that? December 26th, December 26th. Okay, and then Sean McLeanahan, right there. And so what's crazy is if I happen to be looking at this article in 1998 thinking, wow, maybe those really are serial killers. Well, related to a serial killer. Well, they were. Okay, they were all killed by this guy, Robert Lee Yates, right here. And, I mean, it's an American serial killer from Spokane, Washington, from 1975 to 98. I mean, he must have been like, hey, there's somebody on my turf. Or maybe he met a friend and he taught that person a few things. Yates is known to have murdered at least 13 women, all of whom were sex workers, working on East Sprague Avenue in Spokane. Yates also confessed to 2 murders committed in Walla Walla in 1975 and a 1988 murder committed in Skagit County. In 2002, Yates was convicted of killing 2 women in Pierce County. So anyways, this isn't one of the more famous serial killers, but he should be, right? I mean, he's got 13 under his belt. Barbarian. It's weird though how when you just start going, you start reading, and you go to somewhere else, and you're back over here, and then all of a sudden some things get tied up, some things get solved, some things are still out there. Like this lady right here, Debbie Finnern, her murder is still unsolved. But doesn't it seem like he would have killed her? And maybe he did kill her. They just couldn't pin it on him because she was fully clothed. I mean, she's right there, for God's sakes. I mean, didn't they just say, let me go back to the this Yates guy. Where did he say that was? Or where did it say it was? Sprague Avenue, right? Isn't that exactly 1800 Sprague, right? That's where she was standing. Right, 1800 Sprague Avenue. So, you know, that one's got to be related. Because that was 1984, and he was killing during that time. The other ones were just a string in 1997. I wonder why they haven't been able to you know, they don't have any DNA probably because she was fully clothed, but I wonder why they haven't been able to associate him. Maybe he just won't tell the truth. He's still alive out there. He's still in prison. Yeah, okay. So here we're going back to that dismembered body one a few minutes ago that I was talking about. This is how my brain went through this. It just it was all over the place. An autopsy on the body of a 30-year-old woman found dead early Friday showed she died from... Okay, was that the other one? Oh, maybe that was a duplicate. Didn't we do this one already? Let's see. There were bruises. Yeah, we did that one. Okay. But there was another article on it. I don't think I saved it, though. It had a little bit more information on it. Alright, and then there was another person named Mary Ann Turner that I started to look into. So if we went to, let's type in newspapers.com here. Mary Ann Turner. 1986, Spokane. Okay, so this is, yeah, it was November 1986. Slain prostitute had traveled long, hard road. Thank you, Mary Hayes.
Good morning,
And
America, from me and dog Ted Dog.
All right. Your dog Ted. All right, cool. Okay, that's a different one. All right. So this is the Mary Ann Turner. For 32 years, Mary Ann Turner did little more than survive. She survived the death of her father, the mental instability of her mother, a life in and out of foster homes, and having 2 children before she was 16. But her life ended early this month in a deserted area of Spokane when Turner, a prostitute, who came here in a desperate search for her runaway daughter, was assaulted, then strangled with a scarf. While some may dismiss her slaying as an occupational hazard for a prostitute family members, talk of Turner's struggle to survive. 2 weeks before she was killed, the young woman called her mother. It was the first time in 6 months the two had talked. She was crying, her mother, Bessie McCowan, said in a phone interview from her Bakersfield, California home. She wanted to come back to California, but she didn't have the money, and I didn't have the money to help her. McCowan said Turner was somewhere in Washington when she made the call. According to police accounts, she probably was in Spokane. McCowan said Turner complained that she felt she had no control over her life and that her prospects for the future made her feel depressed and lonely. She asked me to pray for her, her mother said. I guess she was in trouble. I don't have the faintest idea what trouble she was in, though, said McCown, who never knew her daughter was a prostitute. Turner was born on October 15, 1954. She was the third of 6 children born out of wedlock, McCown said. When Turner was 8, her mother had the first in a series of nervous breakdowns. In 3 years, McCowan's mental state had deteriorated to the point where she no longer could care for her children, she said. So Turner, so when Turner was 11, she and her brother and sisters were separated and placed in foster homes. I don't think any children like foster homes, McCowan said. They would rather be with their mother, but I was sick. I had another nervous breakdown. It hurt putting them in homes, but there was nothing I could do. McCowan paused, then added, it hurts every time I think about it. Turner was 12 when her father was killed after his car was struck by a freight train. She quit school at age 13 when she became pregnant with her first child, Iman. It was awful. She had her baby at the foster home, McCowan said. By the time she was 15, she was pregnant again. This time she had a daughter, Washina, who now calls her Monica. After her birth, Emin was given to Turner's aunt to raise, but when Monica was born, Turner refused to give her up and took on responsibilities of motherhood. Eventually, the pressure on Turner grew to be too much, McCowan said, and by the time Turner was 21, she had her first nervous breakdown. Turner's sister, Brenda Lee, said Turner was diagnosed as a manic depressive who experienced hallucinations after the breakdown. Family members said that because Turner's mental illness, she was unable to hold steady job in California and she qualified for Social Security. The money wasn't enough for her and the daughter to live on, so Turner turned to prostitution, said Lee, and lives in Sacramento, California. It was like a way of survival for her, Lee said. If she was down and out, then she would do it to tide herself over until the next week. It was not a regular thing, Lee said. She did it just to eat. Lee said she tried a number of times to help her sister, but Turner would always end up leaving and going back to her riff-raff friends, as Lee called them. She didn't like my friends. Yeah. So I guess her name was Monica too. Yeah, so I mean, you got that story, but let me go back. This is the same story. I'm going to read you an article, though, based on that. Now I can't remember. This is what I'm saying. Like earlier today, I was so lost. I don't even know where this one was. Yeah, Mary. No, what was her last name? Turner, right? Let me go back a page. Yeah, Mary Ann Turner. Okay, there we go. So here it goes. DNA evidence solves the 1986 Spokane murder, police say. See, this one was solved in 2010. Look at that. DNA has linked a Montana man to a Spokane woman in the 1986 murder, and police are checking to see if his biological profile is a match in at least 3 other unsolved murders in Spokane that bear striking similarities. So now, is this guy another serial killer right here? See, that's the thing, is this guy has the MO of 3 other killings, and they're not the other guy that we just talked about who killed 13, right? You know, he's not Robert Lee Yates, because Yates was arrested in 2000. This guy was arrested for that killing, and then 3 more are very similar, and those are Ruby Jean Doss, Mary Ann Turner, and Kathleen DeHart, 37. Okay. Now hold on one second. All right, there you go. Okay. So those are the other 3. Now I actually had a folder on her, on one of those anyways, Ruby Jean Doss, 27. So anyways, this guy right here was finally arrested for the murder of Mary Ann Turner. All right, but then you see here you got Ruby Jean Doss. In those other cases, oh yeah, they thought Mary Ann. Wait, hold on a second. Gary L. Timmel, 62, of Lincoln, Montana, faces first-degree murder charges for the death of Dorothy E. Oh wait, she's just mentioned in there. Okay, so he was arrested for the murder of Dorothy E. Burdett. Okay, but there was 3 other cases very similar to that, and one of them is Mary Ann Turner. But I don't know if they would have, you know, there's possible they didn't have a DNA profile in that one. Let me go back to this and go back a couple pages and see if we can find, this is November 17th, November 5th, let's see. This is when she probably was found. There we go. A Sacramento woman was strangled to death with her scarf in East Spokane early Tuesday. Sergeant Gene Ziegler said the body was spotted next to a garage in the 100 block of South Ivory by a passerby who noticed or notified police about 9 a.m. Coroner Dexter Amen, you hear his name all the time. He's like, you know, identified the woman as Mary Ann Turner, 30. He said an autopsy Tuesday afternoon indicated the time of death was about 6 a.m. Witnesses in the area told police the woman had been seen loitering at Sprague Street. See? Sprague Street again, everybody. At Ivory, and appeared to be a prostitute, Ziegler said. A man said the woman was partially disrobed and was lying on her back when police arrived. A man said test results to show if the woman recently had intercourse will take about a week to complete. Turner did not have any identification or money on her. A man said Turner was identified by a friend who had moved to Spokane with her from Sacramento. He said the woman was strangled with her scarf and sweater, but that it would have taken 5 to 10 minutes before she was dead. There were signs that a minor struggle took place on the ground next to the single-car garage. Amen said dirt from the area was found under her fingernails. There were no other injuries apparent on the body. It appeared the killer may have driven the woman to the location and then fled in the vehicle. It appeared the killer may have driven the woman to the location and then fled in the vehicle. Okay. An occupant of the house next to the garage told detectives he did not hear anything during the night, Ziegler said. We don't have an awful lot to go on. See, it says 2 prostitutes have been the victims of unsolved murders in the area in recent years. Last January, Ruby Jean Doss, 27, of Detroit, was found dead from a blow to the head near Friskin Ferry. In June 1984, Debbie Finnern, 30. Yeah, you see how crazy this was getting? I mean, it seems like every article has another instance. You definitely wouldn't have wanted to have been a prostitute in Spokane between like 84 and 86. It's crazy. Nah, there was grunge. It has nothing to do with it. Alright, okay. So let's go to the Ruby Jean Doss one. Body not in area long. A murder victim found late Thursday night east of Playfair Racecourse apparently had not been in the Spokane area long, police said. Well, let me go back to the last one really quick. Is that an article or? Oh, it's right here. Okay. Thanks, Kyron.
Thanks for keeping content coming. You're doing a big service. People are stuck home and your videos are helping keep them sane. FYI, if you aren't supposed to leave your house, don't they are. Checking paperwork, probably a good thing.
Yep. Well, thank you. Well, I'm going a little insane just trying to go through all this because it keeps moving all around. It's not organized. I don't even know if there's a way to do it. It's just... let's see. So witnesses in the area told police the woman had been seen loitering Sprague and Ivory. Let me see where that is. Sprague and Ivory. Yeah, right there. Okay, so different corner. And this is Mary Ann Turner. And then where was the body? Okay, it was the 100 block of South Ivory. 100 block of South Ivory. Let's just do that. Oh wow, so she was prostituting right here, and then she was found dead just right here. I mean, geez, that's crazy. Right in this area. See, look at that. We've got two of them that were right here. All of them were on Sprague Street, it seems like, at some point. Alright, I'm going to go now moving on to Ruby Jean Doss. A murder victim found late Thursday night east of Playfair Racecourse apparently had not been in the Spokane area long. The police said late Friday police identified the victim as Ruby Jean Doss, also known as Teresa Cox, and said her permanent address was not known. Hey, wow, thanks Lori Stacks. Man, that Streamlabs is quick tonight, huh? I don't even know. Are my bots working tonight? I forgot. I don't even know if I set those up. Let me try it again. I'll tell you in a second when to check. Oh, God, I don't want to do that. Alright. Hey, thanks, Claudia Neubauer. Yep, there's the keep it up one. I think it's working now, though. Yeah. See? I can see it. Okay, so now we're on to... We were just reading this. A transient discovered the 27-year-old woman's body in a field near the corner of Fisk and Ferry. So let's get that one in there. So she was found right here. And this is Ruby Jean Doss. And there's where Clayton Geist lived. I mean, it's just crazy. All these murders in this little tiny area. Okay, now this is the about 4 days later. Tip sought in prostitute death. Spokane police are asking for help in solving the murder Thursday of a prostitute whose body was found near the East Sprague area where she had been working less than look at Sprague again. I mean, you don't see like anything. It's just absolutely crazy. Yeah. Well, I don't know if Sprague... did Yates actually live on Sprague Avenue? I didn't realize that. But he definitely lived in Spokane. Crazy, huh? Ruby Jean Doss, 27, of Detroit, died from strangulation. An autopsy showed her body was found about 10:30 p.m. Thursday in a field about 50 feet from the intersection of Fisk and Ferry. So let's see if I go back. That's the intersection. Fisk and Ferry. Yeah, Fisk and Ferry, yeah. Apparently. Let's see what it looked like back then. It looks the same. So, I don't know. Maybe it's right here. Well, they would have said this one, though. So.
Thumbs up.
Maybe right here. That field right there. That kind of makes sense. A field 50 yards. Let's see how far 50 yards is. That's 50. Yeah, that's. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. Not sure what they're saying there. 50 feet, actually, not yards, from the intersection of Fisk and Ferry. But this is also 1986, and 95 is the earliest satellite image. Thanks, Justin. Spokane police are asking for help in solving this murder, and so, yes, her body was found about 10:30 p.m. Thursday in a field about 50 feet from the intersection of Fisk and Ferry. Police have established the fact she was a prostitute working the East Sprague area. Detective Brian Breen said Monday. Okay, let me do something here. Yeah, got that in there already. Okay, so that same Montana guy, they think might have been involved with this one. Oh, let's see. Das. So this is her right here. This is Ruby Jean Das right there. Recently resigned from the force. Ah, that's crazy. I was actually thinking that. Oh my God. I never say this kind of stuff. But, you know, earlier, remember when the officer said, oh, wow, we just talked to her an hour earlier, that other case? I was thinking, gosh, do you think it's possible? I think it's Finnern, right? Maybe she was killed by an officer, you know? That Finnern was killed by an officer. And now we've got this case right here where it says a Pasco police officer who recently resigned from the force is a suspect in a 1986 homicide in Spokane. Spokane detectives have identified Richard J. Aguirre as a suspect using DNA evidence, they said. Oh boy. That's crazy. They might want to go check the Finnern one. Because remember he said, God, wouldn't that be crazy if he was one of the officers who said that they had just spoke with her? God. I wonder if there's a way to look up what officer... I gotta go back to that one. Hold on a second. Finnern. Let's see. Finnern was stabbed. Woman found in Spokane. Look at right there. Sergeant Robin Best said officers warned the woman not to remain in the area because it could be dangerous at night. He said police routinely issue that. You know, that almost seemed, and even that sentence there was a little weird, like, hey, you know, I want you to let you know it wasn't out of ordinary to say that, you know. He said police routinely issue that warning to pedestrians even. But then there was the other article that, I think it was the last one, or maybe it was actually in the web article, but it said that it was an hour later. Do you remember that? That the body was found an hour after she was warned. That's crazy. Man. This is getting nutty all of a sudden. Okay, let me go back to that. Oh wait, that's not where I was going. Okay, we were reading that and I found this just now online. I didn't even think to do that. Aguirre is currently being investigated for an unrelated alleged sexual assault which occurred in the Tri-Cities area in 2014. As part of the sexual assault investigation, his DNA was collected and submitted to the combined DNA, CODIS basically. His DNA profile matched the DNA profile collected from the 1986 Das homicide. Holy crap. See, See, this is that conspiracy shit that actually came true, you know. Richard J. Let me see what happened with that. What happened? Okay. Ah, he was just identified as a suspect, but nothing ever happened to that? I don't see anything recent. Doss was a prostitute who was known to work along East Sprague Avenue and had recently arrived from Detroit. You know, you might want to check on that Finnern case, because that was from, I think, 1984, and this is 86, so right in the same time frame there. Let's see, two other women, Mary Ann Turner, 30, and Kathleen DeHart, 37, were also killed in 1986 and 87. They were strangled and suffered blows to the head. Jeez. See, I don't even know where to end here, everybody. It's like every time you get a new article out, you have different names. You know, Mary Ann Turner was definitely one. Okay, did he kill Mary Ann Turner? Kathleen DeHart here? In 1989, police also investigated potential links to a Spokane County public defender, Dale Wells, who committed suicide that year. A motel manager told investigators that photos of Wells resembled a man who had been looking for Doss back in 1986. Oh my God! I think there's an entire crazy, you know, what the hell is going on in Spokane podcast here. This is nuts. Wow. So now there's another guy that worked for the city who looked a hell of a lot like the guy that was looking for Doss, and then he commits suicide. I'm gonna have to, I gotta save this and maybe call somebody. This is crazy. Maybe I'll try to get hold of the author here. Yeah, it's almost like it was a training ground for serial killers. Yeah. So let me go back, add some more articles on Doss here. We weren't done with it. He's asking people who may have seen the woman get into a car earlier in the evening to contact detectives. And see, you know, if you have an officer in there that's working the area, it's so easy for that person to have covered it up too. Detectives have not determined exactly where Doss was killed, but believe it happened near the area where the body was found. The victim had a head wound indicating she was struck by a blunt object, another blunt object of the head, in addition to being strangled. See, that's so identical. It's also similar to that, remember that case on the beach in Florida where the guy came up behind, hit her in the head, and her body was fully clothed and there was no sign of sexual assault, said Lieutenant John Sullivan. So was she taken out for knowing something? Let's say an official got together with a prostitute, and then later you need to close up, you know, the tight end. You know, normally I don't go down this route, but the articles themselves have led to that type of speculation here. Yeah. Breen said Doss was black, 5'3" and 90 pounds, so very tiny, and was wearing a black collar-length wig, a brown and white rabbit fur coat, black pants, and calf-high reddish-brown high-heeled boots. Let's see, then a month later, can you solve this crime? The Spokane Police Department is requesting assistance through secret witness in solving the following crime. On January 30th, Strangled body of Ruby Jean Doss was found in the area of North 500 Fisk. So let me put that in there. Okay, so it's more closer to here. You know, I guess maybe it was in there. Let's see what that looked like back in... Yeah. I guess that's definitely possible. That was a field or something back then. Man, I'm not even sure how to tackle this one. I almost have to start over again and, you know, really just plot everything out on a map and just one after the other, you know, just kind of fill up a folder filled with names. You know, mainly just put down the names of people and then go through it again. I mean, I actually was getting sort of frustrated earlier because I thought I was doing it in an organized way, but then every single article talked about, well, are these ones related? Are these ones related? And then some of them are from an actual serial killer, but then the serial killer was arrested. And, you know, it's just... I mean, he could have done some of those, too. You know, maybe a clever officer, just like they said, they knew that there was a serial killer working the area, and then thought, well, shit, I could get away with it now because it'll all just be pinned on that person because they haven't been arrested yet. Oh, he did? That officer that we were just talking about, he said they had sex? Right. Well, of course he has to admit that, right? Once the DNA's solved, yeah, she's a sex worker. He has to bite the bullet. But also, to protect his identity, wouldn't it make sense that an officer might take out a prostitute? So he admits to having sex, but he didn't kill her. Yeah, they have no clue if he killed her or not. All he has to do is say that, right? Where did you get the answer to that? I couldn't find anything just quickly on the Google search. Yeah, it's a crazy one, Notorious Nats. Yeah, send me the link. I want to see what it says. Yeah, email it to, you know, the great... You got it. You got the email, right? That's definitely one I want to check out. And let's see what this one is from November. So this is another one. This is November 5th, 1986. A Sacramento woman was strangled to death with her scarf. Is this which one? Sergeant Gene Ziegler said the body was spotted. There's that same coroner again. Amend. Okay, that was the Marianne Turner one. But then her name is mentioned in it. See, detectives have said the Finnern homicide was similar to the killing in August 1985 of 12-year-old Marcy Belez. So maybe Finnern is related to the guy that... See, here's the thing, is the guy that they just determined today that we discussed in the Marcy Belez case, he was also a killer type in that exact area. Okay, so look at this craziness right here. The one that we talked about earlier today, Clayton C. Geis, he killed Marcy Belez in 1985, and then I think it was 84 when hold on, let me get this one. Yeah, Finnern is 84. So just a year before, you have Finnern being murdered and found right there. And he lives right on the same street, and the girl that he killed, Marcy Belez, lives right there. And Finnern was stabbed 6 times, and so was... See, the other women were bludgeoned and strangled. So Finnern may have been killed out of the same anger and hate that he had for women. They said that he had hate for women. That's why he stabbed Marcy, I think it was like 29 times in the torso, 2 times, and then in the throat, and then twice in the head. But yeah, it's almost impossible to keep it all straight, but you know, you can kind of get the gist of what I'm talking about. There's just so much shit going on. It's wild. I mean, that's what I'm saying. It's not like something you can just... It can be put together. Just not in the 2 hours I had for the show, right? But I had already got started, so I thought I'd come on and just wing it to see where the hell this would lead. Let's see. See if I got that email. Okay, there it is. Okay, so it's 2017. Murder charges dismissed against ex-Pasco cop accused in 1986 Spokane homicide. That's him right there. You know, and of course, you know, you don't want to make it look like one of your own is doing something. So it's a little easier to free him than it would have been anybody else. Prosecutors dropped the cold case murder charges against a former Pasco police officer accused of killing a Spokane woman in 1986 because of problems with DNA evidence. Richard Aguirre, 53, had been charged with killing Ruby Das, who worked as a prostitute. Recent DNA results raised significant evidentiary... Okay, maybe if this is... If it isn't what you told me in the chat, and it's something else, then I can buy it. Let's see. Recent DNA results raise significant evidentiary issues, therefore, in the interest of justice, it is respectfully requested that the above-named matter be dismissed. The DNA issues were not divulged in open court. And the issues might have been that there was other DNA as well as his, you know, because we learned a while ago that sperm can last, what was it, 5 days in there? It was basically a mess, he said. We have filed over 300 pages of motions in this case. Prosecutors charged Aguirre with strangling Das in 2015 after a DNA sample he gave for an unrelated case matched the sample taken from a condom found near Das. Well, that's interesting. Whose body was found a few blocks from East Sprague Avenue, near the intersection of North Fisk. Yeah, that I guarantee it. The issue is that there's other DNA in there. But sometime after the condom was tested for DNA in 1986 at a Washington State Patrol crime laboratory, and again when it was, man, they tested that in 86? Jesus. When it was tested in 1989 at a lab in New York, it went missing. So he just got off on some weird, oh wow, the sample went missing. So given the new technologies, we're just not able to... In a pretrial motion filed October 9th, the defense lists a lab worker in New York who was expected to testify that she must have disposed of the condom sometime after 1989, and before the evidence was returned to Spokane Police Department in 2001. Somehow the condom in this case just disappeared, Brown said. Man, this is a conspiracy theory nightmare, and it actually is probably a reality. Okay? I can just tell you right now that I think it's there's a highly good, good chance that that condom was sort of purposely oops, you know. The Spokane police detective denied a request for comment Thursday on the grounds that Aguirre could be retried in the future. Elected County Prosecutor Larry Haskell confirmed the condom went missing during the investigation, but said it wasn't material to the case since the DNA evidence that linked Aguirre to the body was already extracted. Okay, well, did you have the... It wouldn't have been an item that would have been paid attention to the way it would have been because of the advancements in DNA. In March 2016, Brown tried unsuccessfully to have the case dismissed, saying military records proved his client was in South Korea at the time of the murders. Doss was found dead on January 30th, 1986. Haskell, who was on the case before Driscoll, argued in 2016 the military records submitted by the defense did not say when Aguirre actually left Fairchild Air Force Base for Korea, and instead only established a reporting period. The murder trial was delayed several times, including most recently in April 18th when trial... I wonder how they were going to have a trial on that. Man. I mean, they must have had a whole bunch of other information, too. Aguirre also faced an unrelated charge of voyeurism and witness tampering stemming from a video of sexual encounters police found on Aguirre's computer and cell phone while collecting evidence for the murder case. Those charges were dropped in February. God, how come? I don't see the part where you're talking about where he said he admitted having sex with her. Let me see. Yeah, where's the part where it says he admitted to having sex? Maybe I skipped over it. Yeah, that's bizarre. Not sure what to make of that one. I gotta put this in that other folder though. Okay. So I'm done going down that rabbit hole right now. Okay. And then in that process of looking into Spokane, there was some other unsolved cases. And then look at this one. Transgender woman convicted for slaying of 3 women who worked as prostitutes. I mean, what's going on in Spokane, everybody? A 65-year-old transgender woman, so they're an actual biological male, right? Was convicted by a jury Thursday of 3 counts of first-degree murder. This is 2017 for the 1990 slayings of 3 women who worked as prostitutes. Donna Perry will be sentenced on July 24th in Spokane County Superior Court. Perry was known as Douglas Perry before he underwent gender reassignment surgery in 2000, which prosecutors contended was done to avoid suspicion in the deaths. She was convicted, or he, if you go with the biological, of the killing of Yolanda Sapp, 26, Nikki Lowe, 34, and Kathy Brisbois, 38. They were all shot during a 4-month span in 1990. So those are other cases that I came upon. I think those were actually on... let's go back. In here. Okay, what was her last name again? Yeah, there you go. See, Brisbois is right here, look. So this was an unsolved case, again, in 1998. Then we go over and you look at Yolanda Sapp. I think she's on here. I believe. Yeah, right there. Yolanda Sapp. And then Nikki Lowe. See, here we go. I mean, that list right there that I was just showing you about 6 of them were from another serial killer. And this guy right here is a serial killer. Okay? This guy right here is a serial killer. So that means there was at least 2 serial killers working in Spokane, during like a 15-year period. Prosecutors contended Perry killed the women in part because Perry was jealous of their ability to have children. The bodies were left either naked or with their breasts and genitals exposed. Defense attorney conceded that DNA and thumbprint linked Perry to the victims, but they said that was because Perry patronized prostitutes when she was a man. Well, that means she's a transgender lesbian then, right? So that means she's a little bit like Bruce Jenner. Caitlyn Jenner, excuse me. Right? Where you're still attracted to women, but you've decided that you identify as a woman, but you're still attracted to women. Right? But in this case, he seems to have done it for trying to hide, his identity, basically. Perry's attorney did not call any witnesses, and Perry did not take the stand in his own defense. At the time of these deaths, Miss Perry was living with a prostitute and involved in the community, defense attorney Pat Donahue said in closing argument. That's just unreal. This is just the craziest. Come on. Wasn't this one of the nuttiest nights you've ever seen? I mean, freaking, it's just, don't move to Spokane, everybody. Wow. Don't live right here, okay? If you want to live like right there somewhere, on this street, Brookshire Court, go to some kind of a store that might be over here, that's fine, all right? But just don't make your way over here to Sprague Street, all right? Yeah. So what else I got in here? Tony Howell. What was this one? A teenage girl found dead late Monday near Beacon Hill, just east of Spokane, was killed in what authorities described Tuesday as a savage knife attack. I think this one was solved. Tony L. Howell, who would have turned 17 last Thursday, reportedly left her home at West 217th Boone on October 5th, was last seen, and this is 1987, in a vehicle belonging to a friend. And it turns out there was this one it was resolved, and it was some guy, like that guy I think that gave her a ride was on coke, and then he ended up killing her, stabbing her to death. So that one isn't related to the other ones. Anyways, one of these days, maybe I'll try to tackle putting that all together. It's just, it's pretty daunting. I wonder what the detectives, what they believe, even though that condom was lost, and then they probably found other DNA inside of her body too. And so he just said, well, yeah, I did have. Well, but that's kind of weird that the condom would have been found next to where her body was found. That should have just been clear evidence right there. I mean, right? I mean, why? It's not like she would carry around his condom for hours. So if the condom was found where she was found dead, that's a pretty strong indication that he was the one that left it there. Right? That's right. He should have got more charges just for the littering there, Running Fox. Yeah, so Cairo's driving around the country fixing the, you know, I don't know what I think he replaces parts and makes sure that the cell phone towers are working. But they check his papers. Like, hey, are you supposed to be driving around? Especially in the states where you've got to, what do you call it? Like, stay in your house, basically, unless you're going to the store. Oh, it's another article? Okay, let me check that one out. Huh? Hey, Jamie, you sent me an email and all it says is working. What does that even mean? It's just, you know. Let's see. So, what do you got here? Yeah, you didn't send me another email, though. What's new? You sent me an email with nothing in it. There's no link or nothing. You just... It doesn't matter. Don't worry about it. I don't really care that much right now. I'll look into it myself when I get into it. I just didn't have time to... Yeah, I'll have to check it out. Man, it's weird because Portland doesn't have serial killers like that. Why Spokane? It's just... Yeah, but you didn't send me a link. What now? You just sent an email with just typing. There was nothing in it. Okay? That's what I'm trying to tell you. Both you and Jamie Hoover... Jamie Hoover says, Robert Lee Yates address in Spokane. East Sprague Avenue working. And the whole email just says working. Look at right there. That's the email I get. What am I supposed to do with that right there? Honest to God, I really have no clue. Yeah, let's see. What do we got? Martin Sanders also in the 80s. Yeah. Yeah, if I come across those, I'll look into it. So is he a friend of Ted Bundy, this guy? This is the one that, whatever, I don't know how to say that name. Chell or Chile or, I have no clue. You know, everyone should just use really basic names when they're doing YouTube. Jim, Steve. No, yeah, it doesn't say that though. What new? Doesn't say it at all. You said you just Google Richard Aguirre murder and tons came up. One says he had sex with a prostitute. That's all you said. You said you did that. Okay? Yeah. Anyways, maybe I'll check it out later. I got a... What do we got? Yeah, I was going to look at this one. Murder. Parricide. To inherit 10 million tobacco... Characteristics. To inherit 10 million tobacco fortune. Stephen Wayne Benson. Oh, this is probably a different one then, right? What did she say? Stanley Benson. Hold on. This guy is Stephen. Yeah. Anyways, I'll check it out later. My brain's just fried right now. I've gone over so much crap today. Sass Mayor. Yeah, I did the same thing. I looked up Richard Aguirre, and it came up with stuff prior to that. That's what I did earlier on Google. But I'll try it again later. At this point, it's just kind of... Well, hopefully you guys thought that was mildly interesting anyways. It, even though it went all over the place, it sounds like there was... basically 3 serial killers. There was even another one that they suggested that there was 3 cases that were related, and they weren't sure if others were related, but it wasn't the guy, any of the ones that we talked about. Anyways, thanks for sending me the link earlier so we got that information. The next one I didn't know what to do with. It just, yeah. Send me the link that has the answer, and then that would have worked. The one that said that he admitted to having sex. So if he admitted, well, the thing is about that one, if he admitted to having sex with the prostitute, and his condom was laying near her body, doesn't that sort of indicate that he's the killer? I mean, what would it be doing there? Like, she was just, going through about 100. I mean, I guess, she is a prostitute, right? But he would have a reason to kill her, right? Because I think you'd lose your job if you were an officer and found out that you had sex with a prostitute. Well, they didn't pass it over. They got it. But for some reason, losing the condom they probably argued, you're not allowing us to do our own testing of the DNA. That type of thing. Yeah. That's what it seems like. Anyways, I don't even know if I'm going to do the flyby. I'm so sleepy. I think when everything's so scattered, it makes me tired. Because my brain has to work harder. You know, I was even having a hard time presenting it in a way that made sense. It just... Hopefully it was mildly interesting. And make sure you hit that like button before you leave, everybody. Down, bingo, bango, bango, bango. I don't have my sound audio up. Yeah, so I'm a little bit grumpy here at the end, so if I've been grumpy, I'm sorry. But I'm a human being just like the rest of you. It definitely is on overload. I'll tell you that right now. Well, send me an email, Buckle Bunny. It doesn't do any good to type it in right at the end of the show. You know, send me an email. Thanks, Kit Kat. Yes, and we got a final stretch here. We got 3 more days. We got to build up the donations for the, for the percentage that goes to the charity this month. And this month
As
is
usual,
especially
you
important.
Great Gray.
To be able to donate. There was a some kind of a food thing that I saw on Fox News. It was like for like first responders or something. I can't remember, but oh, I don't know. Doesn't have that information, Tanya or Toya. Yeah, because then you don't know how to retest it to prove it. Yeah. Yeah. Yep, she doesn't have to work tomorrow. But she's getting nervous because they got a lot of patients there right now. And they keep getting more and more and more. And she had to work in on the floor that had them. And then there was a patient that came in and pretended he didn't have it, but it was pretty messed up. I don't know. I wouldn't be surprised if she got it and I got it at some point during this. Because I'm not gonna, if she gets it, I'm not going somewhere, you know. I'm not gonna go stay in a hotel for 2 weeks. Forget it. You know, not happening. Yeah. All right, everybody. That is it. I'm so tired. 3 shows today. That was a big one. And you know what? You know what I got for it? 4 less subs. It was amazing. Okay, everybody. Thank you all for showing up. Thanks. Frazzled Cat right at the end there. Appreciate it. I hope I hope everybody stays safe out there. Oh, wow. And Dario Caspiorson's Rock and Susanna Macchiola Padre. Yeah. I don't have time to look that up, but yeah. What's it going to say when it tries to read that?
Is Finnern's launcher nor NA launcher?
Is that what it means? Oh, okay. That's right. And by the way, everybody, Trump is not telling everybody that they're going back to work on Easter. He said he hopes people can get back to work on Easter. So whenever you hear people trying to sell you that he's telling people they got to go back to work, creating these outlandish videos with people screaming at the screen saying, oh, you haven't worked a day in your life. Well, you're idiots, okay? Because that's not what he said at all. If you interpreted it that way, that means you wanted to hear it a certain way so that you can sell a story. All right? He didn't say that. He said that he hopes that people can go back to work by Easter. It's not going to happen, okay? It's not going to happen. Yeah, he's not lying to anybody. He really isn't lying. It's amazing. I think Trump has been telling the truth. He tries to, paint a happier tone to things, and what's wrong with that, right? He's still relying on what the experts are going to say. It's just weird. You know what's amazing is that there really is a thing called Trump derangement syndrome. You know, like I actually had somebody put a message on one of my videos saying, "Man, I can't believe you watch Fox News. I'm really disappointed." And I said, "I don't give a shit what your opinion is, okay? That's it." I mean, why do you need to tell me that? If you guys watch CNN, I won't tell you that. I'm just going to tell you that CNN is a pile of shit. Literally making up stuff on a daily basis. Literally just false stuff. But you're going to believe it because you want to believe it. So every time they say stuff about Trump, it's just that if you hate Trump, you're going to believe it. That's the thing. And I'm not saying it's not the same way on the other side either. This just happens to be like when Obama was president. I hated. I thought he sucked. Okay, I thought he was god awful. All right, and I'm just going to tell you that I thought he was absolutely horrendous. He set race relations back. He was the most divisive president that I've ever seen. It was weird. It was the strangest shit I've ever seen in my life. It was, and people were like, "Oh, it's so great. Oh, look at he's so." Wow. Okay. So the thing is if somebody said something about Obama, I might have said, "Wow, man, I agree." And I wouldn't look into it. But now I look into stuff regardless. So if there's stuff that Trump says it's wrong, I'll go, "Yep, that's bullshit." Oh, that's not right. But try to use your brain instead of just believing what you want to believe because you don't like somebody. That's all I'm saying. All right. It took me a while to actually do that in politics, is to actually hear something and go, "Yeah, that's just not true." Yeah. Even on my side, like I'm more on the Republican side. I believe more in what they stand for than liberals, That's just the way it is. But don't go, "Oh man, I can't like you now because you..." See, that's what's strange, is like, I don't give a shit what you are. Okay? So don't give a shit what I am. Now, thank you, Andrea Ruggiero Drum. Yeah, I don't even know what that means. Trump funny, though. It's just... Yeah, he's hilarious in debates and everything. Yeah, on his when he goes out and does his rallies, hilarious. Yeah, I mean, it literally is like this. If you don't like, I don't know. I can't even explain it. It's just, it drives me insane. And I do see that it's more often from one side, the ones that are just intolerant. Like after I make a video, just a little bit that I've said right here, you'll get these stupid people that make comments in there saying, "Oh God, oh man, you would just..." Oh, look at, that's just what I believe what I said. Okay, I thought he was very divisive. Saying stuff like, presidents and people that are in charge are not supposed to get involved in legal cases that are, in the courts. And when Obama said, "If I had a son, he'd look just like Trayvon," That was ludicrous. Man. And, and then he got the Attorney General involved in it. What are you doing, man? It's insane. That kind of stuff you can't do when you're a president. And then the Cambridge Police Department acted stupidly. No, they really didn't act stupidly in the case that you're talking about. When there was this professor that was just trying to jimmy a door open. And the cops came by and said, hey, who are you? That's just crazy. And then the whole Fast and Furious. Here's the thing: is Obama had his attorney generals defended him, protected him at all costs, and actually liberals are better at that. Like the whole Democratic Party, they'll sell their souls to protect somebody. They'll do whatever it takes. Where Republicans actually have morals sometimes, and they'll say, "Oh, screw it." Like Romney, for example. Like Romney. He claims he has moral. You'd never see a Romney on the Democratic side. Ever. A guy that would just, oh, screw this. They are all lockstep, man. They've got every single person lined up to do everything that they can. So they're better at politics. That's 100% true. They are so much better at politics than the Republicans. The Republicans, they're not good at all. They always have people that stand up for their morals instead of their party, and you can't really have that. Doesn't that suck? It sucks. Yeah, they should hate Romney. Romney's a joke, okay? And here's the thing. Romney, when he had his debate against Obama, was kicking Obama's ass all over the place in the first two debates. I mean, it was incredible. And, when you look back on it, when Romney said, Russia is our biggest geopolitical foe. And then Obama said, oh, the Cold War has been over for years, man. He was right on the money. Right on the money. I mean, look at it now. That's all they ever talk about. The Russians, the Russians, the Russians, the Russians, the Russians. Every 2 seconds. Where Romney blew it was in the debate about Benghazi. That moment on stage where it was all set up, it was all planned, where Obama said, go to the tape. And then what's her face, Candy Crowley, whatever her whole name is, said, yes, it is true that he did say that no acts of terror would go. But that was bullshit. See, the Benghazi thing, he came out and, I mean, all I can tell you is Romney didn't know it well enough to defend himself because it was so easy to do. And I remember at the time just going, how did you not do that? My God, that was so easy to defend. He didn't do it, though. He was on a show. See, Obama did a show right after he went out and said, no acts of terror will go unpunished. He was talking about the broader picture. And then when he was interviewed on CBS, there's this tape where he said, yeah, I went out of my way not to call Benghazi a terror attack. He said that. He went out of his way not to call it that. But see, Romney, that was already out, and Romney should have known that was the reality of it. But he just didn't know. Well, what about the CBS report that showed you saying that, he just didn't know how to do it. Oh, God, it was just brutal. Brutal. I left my head, I was just shaking my head after that. The debate before that, Romney schooled Obama. As a matter of fact, when he turned it on to MSNBC and everything, they had their heads down. Van Jones was over there just going, wow. Man, he's got to get going here. This is, Yeah, remember when he said, let me ask you this, everybody. See, if I said this, who said this? Sarah Palin or Obama? I have visited 57 states. Who would you think said that? Right? Well, when the public was asked who said that, everybody said, oh, Sarah Palin. Oh, Sarah Palin. Oh, Sarah Palin said that. Yeah, because she's dumb, because you guys all sold it to everybody that she was dumb. But Obama's the one who said it while he was in Oregon. He said, I've now been to 57 states, you know? And I'm like, how in the hell do you make a mistake like that? Okay? But he actually said that, although it's always attributed to Sarah Palin. You see what I'm saying? And she didn't say it. God. Chloe and Blue are running around like chickens with their heads cut off right now. Yeah, it's amazing. What's going on, Blue? What's going on, buddy? Go get it, go get it, go get it, go get it, go get it. Yeah, you guys should go look up that one video. There's a video online where they go to a polling center and they ask various questions. And it was amazing. Everybody knew the answers to the questions that were negative about Sarah Palin. Like, who spent $400,000 on their wardrobe? Oh, that's Sarah. How did you know that, though? Because the media was pushing shit that doesn't matter at all. And then you remember the part about where Sarah Palin said, the media was making fun of it, and then so did Saturday Night Live. They said, I can see Russia from my house. Well, you know what? She never said that. She said, you can see Russia from part of Alaska, which is absolutely true, okay? Unfortunately, it gets sold, and everybody tells everybody that she's really stupid and dumb and dumb and dumb and dumb. And then everybody believes it, okay? And then they asked her questions to try to trap her, like, what's your favorite book and everything? Oh, see? Because she didn't read any books, everybody. Right. Anyways, it's just a nightmare out there, everybody. The whole political world, it just, nobody's ever telling the truth. It's just, right? And here's the thing. Remember how they loved McCain? The left did? Wow, McCain it's so great. He always works on both sides. He always works with all of us. Then, when he ran for president, he's right of Bush. He's the worst guy that's ever was. He's a maniac. Right? And then he would actually tell people that were saying the conspiracy stuff about Obama. He'd tell them, hey, shut up, So he had morals, right? But see, during that same time, it wasn't reciprocated back whatsoever. And let me ask you guys this. Does anybody here actually think, put a 1 if you think that Joe Biden doesn't have dementia? Because there is absolutely something wrong. I mean, they need to pick somebody else, like, quick. He can barely get a sentence out. He is all over. Watch some of the more recent things that he's been doing. Whoa. Jesus. It's incredible. They have time, at least the Democrats do, to pull somebody else in there, because he definitely can't do it. You sort of wonder if they're trying to get, like, Cuomo from New York to, sort of sneak in there at the buzzer, maybe in a contested convention. I just can't imagine a debate with Biden versus Trump. It would just be a massacre. And see, the thing is here's the reality. Is I wouldn't have minded. Like, if Biden was how Biden was 20 years ago, and somehow he beat Trump or something like that, I wouldn't have cared as much as if it was like somebody else. If it was like Elizabeth Warren or Bernie Sanders or somebody like that, wow. Man, that would drive me nuts. I couldn't handle it. Because it would just be a fundamental shift. Where Biden at least kind of gets it, but not anymore. He's just... Yeah, but the problem with Cuomo is He might have written that nice little letter there, Bridget, but every single time you see him on the news, he keeps bitching about how he didn't get this and he didn't get that and he didn't, and it's just kind of getting old, you know. How about this, Cuomo? You didn't do shit to be prepared for anything like this for your state prior, okay, Cuomo? You're supposed to be the governor of your state and get everything under control for your own state, and the federal government comes in to help out when that doesn't work. But every single day he's bitching and moaning and bitching and moaning. It's just, wow. Yeah, I mean, I haven't minded him that as much. The guy that I hate is de Blasio. De Blasio is an embarrassment to humanity. He should just put his head in a hole like an ostrich and just keep it there. What's going on? You want to hear the reality of it, everybody? Of this whole pandemic thing here? Here's the reality of it. It's really, you know, we weren't prepared as a nation at all for a pandemic, but we were the most prepared. We had the most preparedness of any country, but no president that we've ever had has got us ready for a pandemic. So, you know, you can't lay, like, let's say you don't have enough masks, you don't have enough ventilators, you don't have you can't lay that on Trump. You know, like, oh, we didn't have enough ventilators. Yeah, so let's see. When Trump got elected, day one, I'm buying more ventilators. People would have, what the hell for, man? You know, they would have laughed at him. Okay, nobody does that when they come into office. Right? But it's never going to happen again. I can tell you that. I guarantee it. From now on into the future, we will always have a massive stockpile of ventilators. We will have testing kits that are sort of ready to go, where you swab and then they'll have to rejigger the machines that do the testing for whatever virus they're testing for. And you got to just have a much quicker testing facility going on all around the country. I think every single person in the country should have a kit. You know how they're sending checks to everybody coming up here? Well, why not have the same ability through the IRS even? Why don't you use their database and send the exact same addresses testing kits? Then those people take the test, send them in, and then they get ripped through, and we get to know exactly who has the virus in the entire country. And then you can start calling people with robocalls saying, hey, Mr. Hughes, yes, it turns out you've got it. You need to stay in your house for the next 2 weeks. We'll send you another kit in 1 week, and we'll send you one every week until you don't have it anymore. Then you're allowed to go back out. Boom. Okay, thank you. Yes, and I'll put my name in the as president. Oh my God, are you kidding me? How we know what we need to testify for. I have no idea what that means, Toya. For the 5th time I've read something, I have no clue what you're talking about. It almost seems like you're trying to, like, trick me or punk me or something. Yeah, Nona. Nobody owes nobody anything, everybody. I even told my dad this, you know, they're my mom and dad. And I went through the whole thing, and they were like, "No, God, you know." See, the thing is, it would work, but we both agreed that it wouldn't work because people are too selfish to let it work. Oh yeah, what are you drinking there? I have more respect for that now, Toya. What have you been drinking? I almost feel like getting a drink myself now. Who the hell cares? Doesn't alcohol... Hey, you know what? We use the hand sanitizers, right? To kill the virus, so wouldn't drinking liquor kill it throughout your body? Yeah, that was my drum roll. Yeah. Oh yeah. Because they're just little mini drinks, so you know it's. That'd be funny if I had a little miniature, and I did a little. I hit it in my hand and then pulled it back, and it was little. You know, the kind you get on the airplanes or whatever. Yeah. Yeah, there you go. I guess I got more awake all of a sudden. Because now my brain isn't as random. Of course, there's a lot of people going, oh, I can't believe it, man. I'm going to unsubscribe. I loved Obama. And he doesn't like him. That means I have to unsubscribe. Because I'm petty. About what? Who? Who was hearing about what in October? Hey, you want to hear something crazy? You know that day the stock market just tumbled down into oblivion? You remember that? On Monday, actually. I think that was Monday this week. Yeah. It just went tumbling, or maybe it was Friday or Monday. I can't remember exactly, but it went down to 1800, the Dow or something. Well, just before that, this guy came out and he said, I don't even know, I can't remember his name, but he said, this is the worst thing that's ever happened. Nothing's going to be around. You know what he did? Then he started buying stocks when it got to right after he said that, like the next day, boom, and he made $2 billion. Doesn't that seem like that should be illegal? Because he's like this stock guy, you know, financial guru. And he's over there on, you know, CNBC talking about this shit, and then boom, he makes $2 billion. Yeah. Well, I mean, I think everybody should have some money ready right now to buy some stocks, okay? Because I actually bought some. I mean, you know, you got to get it out there, right? I bought some a few days ago. I think it was Boeing. What else? Boeing, Wynn Resorts, Ford, Delta, and this other company called Spirit Airlines. They were just hammered to like 1/15 of their cost. Like, oh shit, you know, why not? I mean, the stock market's going to go like this: boom, 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 boom. It's going to go up and down. We had 3 million people sign up for unemployment. That's insane. Well, Boeing was at 100, and now it's at 180. So that's a pretty good return there, if you do the math on that. And then Spirit Airlines was 7, and it went up to 17. Okay? That's a pretty good return there. See, listen, everybody. If you don't do stocks, don't care about the price of the stock, okay? It's the percent return. So if you buy a stock for $1 and it goes up to 3, you might go, oh, wow, that's only 2. No, that's a 200% return right there. So if you put $2,000 into a $1 stock and then it goes up to 3, you now have $6,000, all right? Don't go, oh, well, it just went from 1 to 3, and then you've got this other stock that goes from 80 to 120, and you go, wow, that went up 40. That's better. No. See, a lot of people's brains work like that. It's not even close to better. That's 50%. 80 to 120, that's 50% return. But to be equal, that $80 stock would have to go up to 240 to be equivalent to go from 1 to 3. You see what I'm saying? Yes, all that matters is how much you put in and the return percentage. Ford was probably my least. You know, I bought like 410. It went up to 520. You know, it was like 20-something%. But That's still amazing, right? Like 20 something percent. You put your money in a bank, you get 1% in a year. It's ridiculous. However, you know, from my previous works, I had a 401k. I got killed. The 401k just went. Absolutely got creamed. So, anyways, hopefully it'll come back up one of these days. That's all we can hope for. I'm just doing YouTube, and my other job, I guess, is still going on right now. Who knows? Yeah, everything went down like 30%, 35%. Crazy. And it's sort of compounding too. It's like a... Yep, health first. But it's also a great time, like if you actually have any extra money at all, like even $1,000, you know, that you don't care about, you know. You might wait if there's another dip or something in the market, because it's these, you know, the price of things has never been so low. But that's just an opinion, okay, everybody? I do search engine optimization. And it's you know, the real search engine optimization, not the web designer guy that says, "Oh yeah, I do SEO too." It's not nowhere near that. And I don't even do any. All I do is I create programs that go out and scrape data off of websites so that we can, you know, put it into a form that the advisors can look at and make decisions. But I write code in Python, and I learned it on YouTube actually years ago. I went through different. It's pretty easy. It's a pretty cool program actually. So if there's anybody out there that thinks they want to become a computer programmer, don't go, "Oh, I just can't do it." You know, go onto YouTube and say, "I want to," you know, type in "learning Python." And there's these people that have made like 50 videos, and they go through all of them. And by the time you're done with them, you're like, "Oh, that's pretty easy." And you can just do whatever the hell you want to do. Now you could do it. I bet you could do it. You just aren't going to ever try it because you say, "I can't do it." It's like, "Gilligan, you can't fly." Oh. Oh yeah? What's he doing now, Ashley? How long would it reasonably take? But that is cool. You talking to me? Yeah, gold's a pretty good one. Man, when did you buy that gold? It hasn't been 265 for like, I think, way before the financial crisis. Probably like 1990 or something, you know. Oh yeah, I have Sirius in my car. Yeah. Oh, I mean Python? Yeah, just like a couple weeks. You're up and running right away. You know, first you have to download the you know, the Python software, but the tutorials show you all that stuff. You know, you just do it. Just try it, just for the hell of it. Just download it, go through the tutorials, and you'll be like, "Oh wow, look at that, it worked. That's pretty cool." Yeah, I mean, it's amazing because, you know, Python can actually open up a browser and then keep changing the URL over and over again. And then as it's loading those pages, you can then access the code of the page and then look for certain things in the code using something called XPath. So it finds particular code and then grabs the data off of that. And then you keep storing that on each loop, you know. So it's pretty cool. Well, good, Sasmir. We need that. Well, don't be scared. Just well, there's nothing to be scared about. Oh, what the hell happened right there? Oh, I hit the wrong. Whew, it freaked me out. Yeah, you just do it. So again, right now I'll tell you the same thing that I've said 1,000 times. The Ann Lander article, it's sort of a mantra that everybody should go by. All right, so this person wrote a letter to Ann Landers and said, hey, you know, I'd like to be a lawyer. I want to be a lawyer, but I'm 40 years old, and it's going to take me 7 years to become a lawyer with law school and everything. And then Ann Landers wrote back, the simplest thing you could ever imagine. She said, well, how old will you be in 7 years if you're not a lawyer? Yeah. And see, that's the answer. You know? You just go do. You just start doing it. Right. I know you don't think you could, but go onto YouTube and type in Learn Python. Python, like the snake. Okay? Then it'll show you how to go to the website, download a package, you install it, and then it'll lead you through the whole damn thing. It's really easy. Yeah. Lizard eye. Did I say something that was lizard eye? Oh yeah? Yeah, the drones are it's fun. Oh, it's a snake. Okay. That's right. You put your mind to it. You look at. I actually think every single one of you in here, I have smart viewers. I think every single one of you can do whatever the hell you want to do if you wanted to go do it. But the difference is you have to actually want to go do it. See, everyone goes, yeah, I want to do it, but I don't really want to do the work that it takes to do that. Well, the thing is just put the work in to do it. You know, spend an hour a day doing Python. That's it. But everybody always says, oh yeah, sort of like the whole thing about, man, I never win the lottery. And then you say, well, have you ever played? No. Yeah, I've never played it. Well, how in the hell would you ever win if you don't even play it? I mean, that's, it's not the greatest example in the world, but you've got to get out there and try something. Just give it a shot, Anybody can do anything. Just like nobody owes nothing. Nobody owes... What is it again? Nobody owes... Nobody anything. There you go. Yeah. Yeah, you can make pretty good money as a CNA too after a while. Mm-hmm. I don't know. I don't even want that shit to happen. What a nightmare. This whole drone industry for delivering and everything, they're sort of screwing up the recreational drone people a little bit. I don't know if it'll be I mean, they're making this thing where you have to have the drone has to be compliant with certain, connections to Wi-Fi enabled or something. I don't know. It's just we'll have to see how it goes. I hope they don't screw things up though. That would be pretty good right now, wouldn't it? Yeah. People just sitting at home and you drop it through their chimney. You could be like Santa Claus. Yeah, cool. The drone thing is amazing. This year, once this virus all clears up, I want to go take it to like just crazy places. It's amazing. For the scary shots, you got to use the Mavic Mini. Have you seen one of those? Have you flown one of those yet, Raven? The Mavic Minis? They're pretty amazing. That quality of video and stabilization and well, you just send it to my email address. Great, the one that's in the description, grayhuze2@gmail.com. Just go look for it in the description. Yeah, $3.99 for this little drone that weighs nothing when there's no battery, and then when the battery's in it, you feel like, okay, this is a little bit more legit. And then it literally, I had it go almost a mile away the other day. It was like 4,000 feet. It was like, man, look at that. And then it just came right back. It's pretty bizarre. This little thing of yours that's just sort of flying around and you're watching it the whole time. And Mavics are different too because they use just radio signals. It's not like I don't even know what that technology is for the Mavic 2. It's something else, but I haven't got any more search parties. She did just email me today and wanted some map from Google Earth, and then she asked how I was doing and everything. So at least she's not mad at me. Yeah, OcuSync. Yeah, there you go. The Mavic Mini doesn't have that. The one cool thing about all their drones, though, as soon as you lose connectivity, they just fly back to where it took off from. The only thing you want to make sure is that you didn't take it off and then start walking with your drone for a mile and a half, and then you go, yeah, return to home, and you're like, oh shit, and then you forgot, and that's a problem. Although I guess it would land somewhere back to where you took off, and you'd go back there and find it later. No, we didn't see it. I'm sure it's not related though, T. So let's see. Everyone's always like, anything that happens in Delphi, it's got to be related to the... Oh my god, I just sneezed, everybody. It must be the coronavirus. I always wondered, remember that day that I felt like I was going to get a fever and everything, and it sort of lasted for 2 days? I wonder if I got it, but I had one of those really mild versions where it didn't do a damn thing. That'd be kind of cool. Because I guess apparently there's people out there that didn't get anything. It doesn't feel like a damn thing. I don't know if they'll ever release it. Yeah, I don't know if I had a fever. I just felt like I was going to get one. But yeah, maybe you had it too there. Here, I want to just see what this works like mathematically. I've been trying to figure this out here. Let's see. Okay. Yeah, so here's that map right here, right? So let's just use New York. Yeah, so there's New York City. 23,000. Okay, let's just do it like this. 23,112. And then there's 365 deaths. And there's no, it says no recovered yet. That's kind of weird. It seems like there'd have to be some recovered, but you know, the percentage of that is yeah, I mean, that's only, wow, that's crazy. So let's see, 2,300 would be 10%. Yeah, so that's 1.5% of the people who are tested. Okay, but they say 70 or 80% of the people that have it. Let's see. God, see, that's the thing, is this number is way smaller, right? So if I made this percentage, let me up here. Let's see, data. Let's see. What happened to the format button? Yeah. Yeah, right there. No, I want more percentage, more spaces there. There we go. 1.58%. But I was wondering if, let's say, there was another 80,000 people who have it, but showed no symptoms at all. Because they said 70 or 80%. So if you use this, and maybe you could say 23,000, let's just use 80%. So you would actually multiply that times 4, and then you'd have, okay, so that'd be 92,000 right there. 92,000 would be that, as if there's another, 80% of a number showed no symptoms, so they didn't get tested, and then there was 23,000 that tested positive when they went and got tested. So let's just say that there was a bigger number that's that. So if you took, I mean, it's hard to do because you don't have the actual, any kind of estimates of how many people might have it that actually got over it. But let's just say you were going to use that. You could probably say that, let me move this down here, and then I'll sum these. And then this is going to be B10. Right, so then it's 0.35%. So it's 1/3 of 1%. You see? The number starts dropping dramatically once you can determine what the real deal is. Because, see, the 23,112 right here are the people who felt sick enough to question and then go in and get tested. Many people that have been tested didn't have it. But they're saying that it maybe 70 or 80% of the people who get it have no symptoms and haven't been tested. So what I'm saying is there's this huge number of people who have it out there that have already gotten over it and didn't feel a damn thing. It's wild. So the percentage of death is way smaller. Now the weird shit is Italy, though, man. That is just, you know, if you go over to look at Italy over here. Why my brain's not working? There it is, right there. Italy. See, they have 80,000 confirmed, but then 10% death rate. That's ridiculous. And I think it's because there's the average age is 48 there. So that means there's a lot of really old people that live there. I'd like to know what the average age of the people who died in Italy is. That's what I want to know. I think those are important things to know so that people, you know, to ease the mind. Well, in some ways it's not something you want to publicize because then the young people will go, oh, well, I'm fine, and they run around like jackasses. You know? Yeah, Italy's though a little bit like it's an outlier. I think South Korea is more like something to look at, and we seem to mimic them, although their curve flattened a lot sooner. I mean, look at the United States right there. Look at that. You know, amazingly, it looks a hell of a lot like my Google Earth pin map. Look at this. You notice any similarities there, everybody? Look at this damn thing. Look at that. All this shit here, some stuff there, and then nothing like in that area. I'm a little bit surprised about Denver having so many, but Denver's an international airport, though. So look at that right in there. There's nothing. You go to my crime map and look at right in there, nothing. That tons over here, and then stuff up there, down here. And, looks very similar. And then look at Mexico. What a miracle. There's just one little tiny outbreak here. And if you believe that, you're high, okay? Mexico isn't doing a damn thing. They're just letting it run rampant, I think. Yeah, there's no way it's not in Mexico if it's right there. And, you know, Texas, they're just not mapping it out. They're not sharing. I think it's just because, you know, Arizona isn't really a, you know, it's transferring, looks like, from California into Arizona. But a lot of these states over here, they had nothing. Just a few days ago, there was nothing in these. Now, look at these little crazy little spots. Like right there, there's one person who had it in South Dakota in that little tiny town, whatever that is. It's just weird. How did they get that? You know? How did this guy right there in Hill, Montana get it? How did that person get that right there? Weird times, everybody. Weird times. That's not the case in Mexico. See, Mexico City's claiming 585 and 8 deaths. You can just throw all that out the window. That's total bullshit. Okay. I mean, look at. You think Mexico's going to look like that when so many people go back and forth? And look at what our country looks like, and then Mexico looks like that. You know that there's a ton of people all around in these areas. They're not even monitoring. That's why you got to lock the borders down. Yeah, about ready to get done, though, Sherlock Hemlock. All right. I was about to get done a while ago, and then I went on a political discussion about how we just all need to accept that other people have different points of view. Okay? And I might think something totally different than you, but it has nothing to do with not liking somebody. Just don't put out stuff that is total bullshit and try to sell it to other people. that's when I lose respect. You know, it's like, oh yeah, you mean, look at this guy. It's just totally crap. Yeah, it's just bullshit. Yep, everything's okay. But anyways, I think that's going to be it for me, everybody. I've got to, I'm going to go to sleep. Watch a little television. All right? So listen, I hope you guys all stay safe and everything. What's weird is sometimes I have 300 people watching. But you know, some of those people have the virus, right? I mean, the odds of... So there's people that have had it that it's just gone away. There's no way in hell that every single one of the people that watches the show just happen to randomly not have it. Yeah, we might be doing some kind of crazy show tomorrow. I'm not really sure, but I'll let you guys know. Tomorrow's Friday, right? Yep. All right, everybody. Well, thank you all for showing up tonight. Thank you to Kit Kat, Billy Boy Blue. He needed the money. Kim Brulette, Kit Kat, Sooner History, Mary Hayes, Cairo, Lori Staggs, Claudia Neubauer, Justin Brunel, Kit Kat, Frazzled Cat, Dadio Caspian Horses Rock, Suzanne Mac, Giola Padre, and Andrea Ruggiero Drum. Thank you very much. Jesus, what the hell? Somebody requested a password. No. If you requested a password, click the button below. No. And plus I've got double authentication shit. Doesn't matter. Yeah, so anyways, thank you guys for supporting the channel, and then we're going to be doing a donation night coming up, probably either the 29th or 30th of the month. Even though it's hard times out there, there's other people that need it. So, there you go. All right, everybody, thank you for showing up tonight. And, as I always say, everybody, until next time, be safe out there. 2, 3, 4. Good night, John boy. Anyways, be safe out there, everybody.